This is the Galaxy Fit 3. It came out in February 2024, so we are almost 2 years in now, and Samsung still hasn't released a Fit 4. So whether we like it or not, this is still their latest fitness wearable, and it also happens to be the cheapest one they sell. What surprised me is that it doesn't fall into that typical fitness tracker look. You know, the ones that look like a USB stick with a strap. This one actually looks clean. It's still listed on Amazon for around $50, but I found a used one for $35. And because of that, I got lucky. The seller threw in 6 straps, 2 hard cases, 2 jelly protectors and said it was only used for a month. However, the box shows a manufacturing date of January 20, 2024. So maybe it sat on a shelf for a while. Maybe he barely touched it. I have no idea. What I do know is this. Money was spent, it's been on my wrist for months, and I've taken it everywhere. Long walks, workouts, even an 8 to 9 kilometer hike. So at this point, I've got more than enough observations and data to tell you where it shines, where it annoyed me, and whether this is still worth buying while we wait for Samsung to wake up and release the next one. At first glance, this thing is tiny. Take the straps off and it literally looks like a miniature smartphone. Aluminum frame, a colorful AMOLED display, smooth animations, a UI that feels way too polished for this price, and the comfort. Man, the comfort. It's the kind of thing you forget you are wearing. And the best part, it doesn't scream cheap. During the hike, what I instantly loved on this thing was the automatic activity detection. I didn't start any mode manually. It figured out I was hiking on its own. And when I paused, it even showed me how long it would wait before ending the activity. And the entire time I climbed up, it kept tracking the distance, steps, heart rate, calories burned, without me touching anything. Which means the barometer sensor in it did pick up the pressure changes and had the mode activated automatically. But to test how accurate and sensitive its sensors really are, I pushed it through stress tests, awkward tests, just to see if I could outsmart it. On the trail, I slipped the watch into my pocket and started walking. It still tracked the steps almost perfectly, almost exactly what I counted myself. And then came the competition. I started racing up those stone steps with my friend like a mountain goat, and fully convinced I'd win, but I lost. Badly. So I did the only sensible thing. I started running alone. That way there was no one left to lose to. And that running resulted in these metrics, with my BPM almost making a double century. And by the time I reached the top, I was done. And the stats were exploding. And these confetti graphics made me feel like I have achieved something massive. So, to make the victory feel even bigger, I started climbing this spot right here. Which means one wrong step and the entire Fit 3 review could have ended right there. I didn't worry though, because it has fall detection. If I fell, it would have alerted my emergency contacts. Which reminds me, I never actually set any emergency contacts.
How are you feeling, bro?
Fantastic! And yes, during those awkward tests, the step counter did pick up fake steps when I literally shook my hands to trick it. But that's normal for any wearable that relies on its motion sensors, especially when it doesn't have built-in GPS to confirm actual forward motion. However, the real question was different. Does it mess up your step count in everyday life? So I sat in a chair and talked like a normal person, moving my hands the way anyone does. But nothing. No ghost steps. Now, what I like most about it is the lack of distractions. The UI is straightforward, no clutter. Samsung gives you enough watch faces to see all the basics at a glance, just like a proper watch. But here's the catch. The faces are static. If I tap on the sleep segment, nothing happens. I can't jump straight into that metric. If I want to check my sleep, I still have to swipe left and open the sleep tile manually. Once I'm inside, it shows my total sleep time, which is the only thing I care about, and a short note that tells whether my sleep was normal or all over the place. If I tap again, I can go deeper into the data, or just go back and keep swiping through the tiles I've set up. Mine shows my health summary, workout modes, weather, daily activity, heart rate, body measurements, and even a calendar. And if I want to go crazy, I can add more. It supports up to 12 tiles. From here, pressing the power button takes me straight back to my main watch face. Simple. And yes, the Fit 3 can mirror notifications from my phone. I can read everything right here on my wrist. Just don't get too excited. You can't type anything. If I want to reply, I can reply with these, or I have to set up quick responses inside the app. And when a notification arrives, I get this tiny orange dot. Swipe down from the top and the quick panel appears. Brightness control, which I keep on auto and it works fine. Settings. the AOD toggle, water lock, and a few other shortcuts I'll get to later. Swipe up from the bottom and you see your apps. Samsung has already curated a few for you. Nothing too fancy, but it does the job. Now here's where it gets real. Battery life. With the always on display active, I'm getting only about 35 to 40 hours. Yeah, maybe it's because my unit was used and not really just a month old. Who knows, but still. If I turn off the AOD, I get a little over 100 hours, with only SpO2 and snow detection turned off. So it's nowhere near the advertised 13 days, but it's still decent. If any of you are using this band, tell me what battery life you are getting. I took it to the gym next, did a few exercises, and yeah, it didn't auto-detect my workout at first. Probably because I was spacing lightly, so I turned it on manually. At 30-minute mark, with earbuds in, I heard the announcement. 30 minutes passed. It was tiny, satisfying touch. Now back to sleep. Sleep tracking is surprisingly good. Sure, it relies on heart rate and the accelerometer, so it sometimes misses those tiny wake-ups in the middle of the night, but overall, it logs my cycles, REM, deep sleep, and consistency mostly accurately. Anyway, on the way back down from the top, it started tracking the activity again. So to enjoy the descent properly, I turned on music from my phone, and the controls popped up right on the band. Simple and clean. Haptics on this thing are not mind-blowing, but they get the job done. Here's how they sound and feel when the band is resting on the table. And yeah, it doesn't work with iPhones. I tested it with my Pixel via Samsung's Galaxy Wearable app. Pairing was mostly smooth, except one time when the app and the band refused to connect and froze during pairing. But it sorted itself after a few tries. The app itself is straightforward. Most options are right on the band, but if you dig deeper, you'll find more customization. There are around 100 watch faces available, and you can keep up to 10 on the device at a time. Here's something I noticed. There's always this red or green tint when always on display is on. On some face styles though, it's exaggerated. Maybe it's a problem with face style or the band itself, I don't know. Also, I'm not sure if it's just me using Samsung Health on a Pixel, but the app feels a little overwhelming, chaotic even. Now design-wise, I really like how the chin is mostly hidden under the curved glass, giving that seamless edge-to-screen look until you peek from certain angles. The strap mechanism, sturdy, simple, and easy. Having multiple strap means I can match it with any outfit, on any occasion. The SpO2 sensor can be a bit finicky. It often tells me to move my wrist up, but still fails to read properly. And let's be clear, it doesn't have a mic or speaker, so no calls, no voice assistant. But that's fine, it's a smart band, not a smartwatch. Sure, there are alternatives from Huawei, Xiaomi, and others, but look at this. It actually looks like a proper watch. I never felt like I was missing anything essential. Everything I need is right here. The rest, I have my phone for that. It's comfortable, easy to use, smooth, and beautiful. And it doesn't cost much. That's why I am keeping it.